PTL's acquisition of Smart and 3 cable companies is about to go down, but the Chamber of Commerce says the deal has to stop. Tonight, Jules Vasquez will be on set to explain why the deal stinks. And we'll take you to Belmopan, where a single father of 2, delivery truck driver Mark Gabriel, was murdered. But was it a hit? We'll have the full story from the Capitol. Plus, we'll talk to the parents of a student at the defunct American Northwest University. Tonight, his daughter is out in the cold, and he says that the Ministry of Education carries a part of the blame. Also, Rasta Babylon Corporal Kenrick Ball tried to wear his locks in uniform. The senior command says he has got to get rid of those locks by the end of this month. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Good evening. With you on news, I'm Indra Craig.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Start earning V-Bucks today. It's really quite easy. All you have to do is make a purchase at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Remember, V-Bucks is as good as cash. It's free money.
Download the V-Bucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy.
V-Bucks, rewarding loyalty.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Need to submit your sickness benefit claim online and have a physical medical certificate? Here's how you can do it. First, go to ssbportal.org.bz and log into your My Social Security account. Next, on your dashboard, click Benefits and choose Forms. Review the requirements, then click Continue to proceed. Click Apply under Sickness Benefit to start your claim. Review and confirm your banking information. If it is not correct, select No and follow the steps to update your banking details. If your banking information is correct, select Yes. Next, if your illness is not related to an injury at work, Select No and proceed to upload your medical certificate. Select your claim period and confirm your employer details. Read the declarations and click each to agree. Click Submit and you're done. A confirmation email will be sent to you. Your employer will also receive an email with your claim details and a request for your salary information. If needed, submit your sickness benefit claim online and receive real-time status updates.
What happens when one person decides to make a change? In communities across Belize, we're seeing the answer.
Hi, I'm Kayla Linares. I love being outside and surrounded by nature. When I heard about the national cleanup, I signed up right away. I don't litter, and I help clean up Belize, one piece of trash at a time.
It starts with one choice, one moment, one step towards something better. Across our beautiful country, everyday heroes are making a difference. In just one day, nearly 2,000 volunteers collected over 40,000 pounds of garbage. From local groups to national partners, Belizeans are uniting to protect what we love. Every cleanup, every piece of properly disposed waste, every conversation, it all creates a ripple effect. But we can't just continue to clean up after everybody's mess. Let's prevent it and be proactive, not reactive. Because remember, our Belize, our responsibility. Bini.
A safer Belize begins with all of us, and the Belize Police Department is taking bold steps to build that future together. The new 2025-2029 Crime Control and Crime Prevention Strategy is transforming policing from the ground up, reforming practices, rebuilding trust, and strengthening accountability. With investments in modern technology, upgraded infrastructure, and smart data-driven tools, officers will respond faster, work smarter, and endeavor to keep communities safer. This plan puts community partnership at its core. It will require more engagement, result in more transparency, and introduce new programs that support our youth, prevent violence, and promote second chances. From fighting gang violence and illegal firearms to confronting emerging threats like cybercrime, the BPD is building stronger, smarter, more specialized teams to protect every Belizean. And with enhanced training and leadership development, our officers are better prepared than ever to serve with integrity and professionalism. The Belize Police Department is rebuilding, reforming, and renewing its commitment to you. Together, we can create a safer, stronger Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, there's a gathering storm of opposition to the BTL acquisition of Smart and the 3 cable companies. We told you about the mega purchase valued at over $150 million, which will create a national telecoms monopoly. Well, our sources say the BTL board will meet to consider and likely approve it tomorrow, but not so fast. The Chamber of Commerce has issued a statement saying the deal has to stop, while reports say the independent senators and the NTUCB are about to also form positions on the deal that will reshape the national telecom landscape. The Chamber's release says it has a serious and substantive concern with the proposed acquisition, and they say that support for this transaction would be premature and potentially harmful to the national interest. They cite a transparency deficit and say, quote, a lack of disclosed beneficial ownership prevents the public and its representatives from assessing the fairness, valuation, and true motives behind this transaction. An acquisition of this magnitude should only proceed after proper consultation with shareholders and stakeholders, including civil society. They also point to perceived conflicts of interest which, quote, create an unacceptable appearance of conflict, undermining trust in the process and raising legitimate questions about whether this transaction serves the public good or private interests, end quote. They also warned that public funds could be put at risk, quote, particularly from the Social Security Board. It could be exposed to support this acquisition without sufficient independent valuation, transparency, or parliamentary oversight. The risk associated with the acquisition will have a direct impact on the Social Security Fund, which may affect its availability to provide benefits to contributors. For all these reasons, the release says, quote, the BCCI cannot, in good conscience, support any move toward telecom consolidation at this time. They call for full, verified disclosure of the beneficial ownership of all parties involved, an independent third-party valuation of the transaction by international experts, and public consultation, among other things. This afternoon, the Chamber's executive, led by its president, held a press briefing via Zoom to discuss what prompted the strongly worded release. We asked the president, Giacomo Sanchez, first why there's no mention in the release of the cable companies being acquired.
And so I know that in the press release you mentioned only Smart, but is there a reason that you guys left out the acquisition of the 3 cable companies?
There's no, like we have indicated already earlier, that we're operating with perhaps almost 2 arms behind our back, because in terms of current information, in terms of the depth of the current transaction, and so we don't know the details of what is included in the package or excluded from the package.
Okay, and secondly, we know that the BTL board meets tomorrow. Is there anything that you guys will do to try to stop this from happening? You know, you issued a pretty bold statement today, and so is there anything that you guys will do to try to stop this?
No, I believe this was put out in the open so that even those transacting have sight of our position, and perhaps this will give government some pause. That is our hope at this point.
Chamber representatives questioned whether a transaction of such national significance could proceed without the Belizean public being informed beforehand, noting that while existing structures may not legally prevent a buyer and seller from moving forward, the absence of early safeguards and dialogue could have far-reaching implications for the economy. The media pressed the Chamber reps to be more specific.
All of this is happening in secrecy right now. Do you actually expect that BTL being or having government shares will actually come to the public? Should there be consultation? All of those guardrails, to use your word, that should be there from the very beginning. This would be a very significant move if it actually goes through. Do you consider that that BTL could actually make the purchase without telling the people anything and just come afterwards and publicize it?
If you examine how our system is structured, there's nothing preventing, in this instance, the buyer and seller from engaging and proceeding with this transaction. At least what we're doing from a chamber standpoint is to putting on record some of what the implications of what we see coming should certain actions not be taken. So, I mean, that's the short answer to that question.
So then, based on that response, we would not see any legislation at all?
We can only be hopeful.
Wow, I think it's really significant. Looking back at years past where the chamber has joined with other civil society organizations to make its opposition known to the government and to make demands, and I'm not hearing that from you today.
I think if you maybe you may have overlooked it in the release, but it is saying that, and all we can continue doing is advocating for the best position that puts the players within our economy in a good position, whether it's businesses or individual interests, particularly when it comes to the telecommunication industry in Belize.
So you've heard from the chamber, and tonight we have on set with us our news director, Jules Vasquez, who first broke the story 7 months ago in early June. Jules, welcome. Jules, you didn't like it then. How do you feel about it and the acquisition now? And what do we know tonight?
Well, I still don't like it, but let's go over where we are tonight. The BTL Board of Directors is expected to meet tomorrow to approve this acquisition. The price with interest and stamp duties will be in the range of 200 million. I don't have the exact figure, but it will be in that range, which is significant. I think there may also be a limitation in the Articles of Association on the amount of borrowing the company is able to do against its share equity, but that's a technical detail. The fact is, the board of directors of BTL has not been apprised of the specifics or even the contours of this deal as a collective group until they get all the details tomorrow.
And are expected to sign off on it thereafter?
There's
no window?
There's no window.
Okay.
It's being done like a shotgun arrangement, and one questions why. There has been no coherent explanation of this. And I have to question, while I do not question the board members in their, as accomplished professionals, I have to question if they are able to judiciously, in the best interest of the corporation, which is publicly owned, if they are able to judiciously execute their duties, because they're all compromised or insofar as beholden to the Prime Minister. Not professionally compromised, I make no imputations, but I want to show the board of directors, please guys, I think we have a graphic for it. So if we see the board of directors, we can see all the connections. Let's go through it. The chairman, Mark M. Lizaraga, he was appointed as a director by the Prime Minister. He's the brother of the owner of CTI Cable, Next Gen, as you know it.
Yes.
Next Gen, which they will acquire. So that is a conflict of interest. Now, second, you have the deputy chairman, Jorge Melina Espat. He was a former PUP air representative, and he is now the deputy chairman of the board. John Briceño is his boss, his political boss. Alan Pollard is a current PUP city councillor. John Briceño is his political boss. Mr. Orbina, he is the Prime Minister's CEO for e-governance. The Prime Minister is his boss. Eric Yusey represents the small shareholders. He's not beholden to anyone. Okay. He was not put there by the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Melissa Balderrama Smaller, competent attorney. She was appointed by the Prime Minister, and she is the wife of Minister Anthony Mala. Chandra Nisbet Cancino, appointed to the Social Security Board and then placed on the BTL board. So it's an indirect appointment, but she's the Prime Minister's sister-in-law. Emma Jean Habet is Landy Habet's half-sister, right? Minister Landy Habet's half-sister, again, Social Security representative. Moises Cal, he's a former PUP standard bearer for Belmopan. Narda Garcia, former Chief Operating Officer for SMART, and the Prime Minister's CEO, and Marilyn Young, former PUP City Councilor. I want to say that I'm not making any criticism of these people, but look at these companies. This SpeedNet that they intend to acquire is owned by the Prime Minister's family. It's owned by the Prime Minister's family. Next, Centaur is wholly owned by the Prime Minister's family. So I want to go back to SpeedNet, sorry. That's owned by the Prime Minister's family in partnership with the Ashcroft Alliance. Ashcroft Alliance owns about 80%. The Prime Minister's family owns about 20%. Next, we go to Centaur Cable, wholly owned by the Briceños. It is known to be owned by the Briceño family. Next Gen TV is owned by the brother of the chairman. That is owned by Pete Lizarraga. Southern Cable Network, that is owned, that's the one on the far right, SCN. That is owned by the Briceños and the Lizarragas jointly. So I'm saying the Briceños, the Prime Minister's family, I don't begrudge them it, but they stand to benefit substantially. So it's an inherent conflict of interest. It's intrinsic, the conflict of interest, because all those people are appointed by the Prime Minister. Now I understand
with
this
the
is how
exception of your small
yeah, with the exception of Mr. Yusey.
who is
totally.
independent. But
Who is
do
independent.
we know what his position is as a
I don't know
small
what his
shareholder?
position is. These people are sworn to confidentiality
Okay.
and they can't speak about board matters. I totally understand that. And I want to say that boards are usually set up like this.
Okay.
PUDP. But they're not considering the purchase of companies directly linked to the Prime Minister and the chairman. So tomorrow there will be a board meeting where finally everything will be laid on the table. The chairman has been meeting this week individually with board members, right? Or with groups, right? To try and bring them over. He's massaging it, right? Trying to bring them over. There are questions. There are questions because these people have not received. There's been no independent valuation.
Consultation.
There's been, and they have not received long-term projected financials for how this will be profitable for BTL. So it goes to the board tomorrow, and you want to hear the best part? The chairman will have to recuse himself. So the same chairman who gestated this entire process for months, because we reported on it in June.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in the gestational phase for many months. And now that it is time for delivery, the chairman will have to recuse himself, leaving everyone holding a puss in a bag. So, the board tomorrow, most of them, as I said, the supermajority appointed by the Prime Minister.
Right. Have no disclosure of the details of this deal. That's what you're saying.
They have received tricklings this week.
Okay.
But they have never looked at it as a board before. So it's not gone to cabinet.
Okay.
It's not gone to the board of directors. It's not gone to the House of Representatives. It's not gone to the Senate. There has been no public consultation. Every time we have asked, for 7 months, they have stonewalled, obfuscated, and avoided. And now, I mean, does that have the appearance of a blue chip investment? It has the appearance of secrecy. If it's such a good deal, let the public know. I can be convinced, but we need to see how it will help the revenue of BTL, and we need an independent valuation. We don't need, they've brought in an accountant to look at it and to create some projections, but the standard is a NERA valuation. That's what was done. NERA is an international economic consulting firm. They just did it for Hydro. Mm-hmm. That's how you buy a utility. That was 5.5 months of negotiation. After that, those an arm's length negotiation, not with the Prime Minister's family, arm's length negotiation. After that, it went to Parliament. Mm-hmm. After that, it went to the Senate. Stakeholders were consulted. That is a utility. These are utilities. No,
I have a question, Jules. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to finish this point. So at the end of this, and I expect them to sign off on it tomorrow. Okay. I expect the deal to be done by tomorrow, and it will be announced tomorrow. After months of stonewalling, this will create a national telecoms monopoly. And that, Ms. Craig, to me, does not augur well for this country. For 20 plus years, we have been told that competition gives consumers a choice. It drives prices down. It drives innovation. It creates a marketplace that is more vital. I understand that in a small economy, it's hard to have a duopoly. For big investment companies like that, I understand.
Right.
I understand. But my point is, when you create a telecoms monopoly, the minute this fool stands up and starts talking bad about the telecoms provider, they have already cut our ads.
Of course, you have
So
no...
what will they cut next? They might cut the internet. The PUC met until the late hours last night. Now, this is a PUC that takes months to just adjust electricity rates by 8 cents. But they met until late hours last night to approve this. Again, the Prime Minister appoints the entire PUC. He appoints the entire broadcasting authority, which governs the cable industry. They met until late hours last night to find a way to approve this. And I want to know what safeguards are in place for when you offend the national telecoms provider and then say, you know what? No internet for you, Jules. No internet for you, Mose, over at Creme. No internet for you at Mr. Plus TV. Where do we turn? This is the danger of creating a national monopoly. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No. I wanted to ask if Belize is equipped to be able to regulate a deal of this magnitude. That was one. And then I wanted to ask also, in the light of that, there's been no consultation. Can a small shareholder file an injunction?
Well, there's been no consultation.
Right.
No public announcement. So the small shareholder can only rely on the few reports that have been trickling out of Channel 7 News. We've dealt with it on the beef. But it's too late, I believe. That ship has sailed. I mean, we'll wait and see, but I believe that they will announce it tomorrow as a done deal. As I said, questions, very relevant questions are being asked. The board, some members of the board are being tough.
Of course.
Because
integrity
they
is
have,
on the line, I mean,
but
regardless.
they also have interest to represent. Social Security owns 49%. I'm sorry, the state owns 49% of BTL. Social Security owns 33%. This is a publicly owned private company. The government is answerable. It owns 49%. And you know why that is held by public interest? Because it is enshrined in our Constitution. So now we need to know about this deal. After it's signed, are you sure after they get their money? How do you know Mr. Ashcroft or the Briseños or the Lizarragas are not going to create another telecoms company?
Where's the financing coming from?
Important question. I have to answer it because they haven't answered. But I know that what they will say is that no big loan will have to be taken out because the financing for the deal will come from the added revenue to BTL. So you are buying the customers.
Right.
You're buying the customers, and when you get the customers, you will get added revenue, and that revenue will now go to the companies you bought it from. So what they're saying, it will save BTL having to get a big loan. But my point is, are these companies profitable? Has that been independently established? That's the standard. Yeah. Independent verification. Independent international verification, and that's what the chamber called for as well.
Okay.
But my point is that with all of this, it's not clear why, what's the rationale? Now I know they will say, and why didn't they say this themselves, Starlink is coming. Elon Musk is coming and he will take over the internet landscape. No, because Elon Musk's Starlink has a price barrier for entry. To buy one of those little satellite dishes, it costs hundreds of dollars, as opposed to hooking up to BTL or NextGen, which you just have a basic installation fee, maybe $150. But my point is, are these companies really profitable, and why, if they are your competitors, how does it advantage you to purchase them? I need to know what's the business case for it. I'm not saying there is none or that it's insufficient, but this has been conducted in such secrecy that we have to ask, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? Are you hiding it from me? I work for the public. We ask questions for the public. I am open to be convinced. Why can't they just treat the Belizean public like adults and say, this is why we are doing this with this publicly owned private corporation? This is why we're buying from the Prime Minister's family. There's a good reason to buy from Prime Minister's family. And the issue is that the Prime Minister's family will make tens of millions of dollars from this sale.
So we're not equipped to regulate a deal of this size. We're not equipped.
I don't think that the PUC, again, all members appointed by the Prime Minister,
Okay.
I do not think that the PUC is able to work in the public interest, which it should, work primarily in the public interest and not realize that, hey, you know, this is for the Brisenians. I do not know that the PUC in one meeting can exercise proper oversight. An acquisition of this sort has to be studied for months and the public must be consulted. How do you feel that we will have a telecoms monopoly? How do you feel that you will only have one phone provider, one internet provider? Maybe people love it.
Right.
Maybe, but we know that monopolies, rates go up, service goes down. There are also many scores of jobs that stand to be lost.
How will it affect us, on the ground? What will it mean in terms of job security, in terms of merging all these companies together? What does it mean? How does it look? And who can tell you how it will look?
And how does it benefit the public?
Right.
And how does it benefit BTL? Will it just be an albatross? Are these companies profitable? How is that established? How was that established?
So we have more questions than answers.
Many, many more questions than answers. But I think the government is moving to deal with it now. It's relatively early in the political cycle. They feel that people will forget. I know that the independent senators, excuse me, are meeting to take a position on it. Too late if you ask me, but they are meeting to take a position on it, which will not be in favor, I expect. The NTUCB is also meeting, but that ship has sailed and the horse has bolted from the stable.
So so concentrated power in too few hands.
Yes, but also a gross multiple level conflict of interest. The people who will gain tens of millions are directly related to the decision makers, to the appointers in these companies. And it's laughable for the chairman to recuse himself from a board meeting after he delivered this deal to BTL. Massage, forgive me, in secret, away from the view of the board.
Right.
Forgive me.
So we have no recourse on this. This is what you're saying at this point.
No, this is a done deal.
Okay.
This will be a done deal by tomorrow unless...
No injunction, no...
I don't foresee that.
Make any last day.
I expect that the board will approve
it.
What
is the window for?
The window is 15 hours, bro.
Okay.
The window is 15 hours.
Okay.
So, you know, and I just don't think there has been concerted enough opposition. You know, the Finance and Audit Reform Act is very specific. Anything more than $5 million in indebtedness taken on by the state has to be taken to the National Assembly. But this is over $150 million. And it's not, I agree it's a private company, but it's a publicly owned private company. Why can't it even go to Parliament for a debate?
So you broke the story in June. And
yes.
The question would be, why have we been dragging our foot on this in terms of for the watchdogs? And
we have been diligently reporting on it and asking the relevant parties the question at every turn, and every turn they stonewall. The Prime Minister says, I don't know anything about it. You'll have to call Jaime, 670-12 blank blank. I'm saying there has been a deliberate, concerted effort to keep this deal in the dark.
Okay.
And there has to be a reason for that. It's unusual. If it's such a good deal, and it will so directly affect jobs, it will so directly affect people who have smart plans, people who have next gen, people who have CTI cable. I'm saying that in the 21st century, you're telling me you're buying 3 cable companies. Cable companies, my brother. Cable is in its death throes. I know there are internet providers. Let me show you a real anomaly with this. I want to see the books. I want to see how much Southern Cable Network is worth. You know why I want to see it? Because I used to be in the cable industry. Tropical Vision used to be. And I know when Southern Cable Network was sold, it was sold for a little under 5 million, 4 to 5 million. I guarantee you. And in 3 years, service has declined, subscribers have declined, as they have for all cable companies. I guarantee you, when you look at those books, it's not a sale for 4 or 5 million. When you look at those books, I would be very surprised, let me say, if it were selling for 4 or 5 million. I bet you it is selling for at least twice that amount. Why? Where's the justification? Where's the business case to buy 3 cable companies in an era when cable is only used by old people like me? I talk to these young people in this office, they don't even know what cable is.
Absolutely not.
It's like asking them what's a newspaper. They have no idea.
So you smell a fish. You smell a rat. All right.
It's not smelling good in the wrap, but we will continue monitoring it to see what happens at the board meeting tomorrow. Of course, these things happen in secrecy, but the government, I expect, will make a statement tomorrow, and the cabinet ministers will be finding out at the same time. Surprise, surprise.
Jules, thank you so much for your insight, for joining us, and we will most certainly keep following it. All right, we'll take our first break, and when we come back, we'll have a heartbreaking story of the murder of a delivery truck driver who was also a single dad of 2 girls. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
After you have earned enough V-Bucks, you can spend them. Remember, V-Bucks is as good as cash. It's free money.
Shop at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Download the V-Bucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy.
V-Bucks, rewarding loyalty.
I'm Randolph Friesen and I manage Westville Produce, better known as Granny's Foods. That's our main brand. So we offer high quality grains, beans, rice, and we also offer corn chips made from 100% locally grown corn. We saw a need for high quality, locally produced products. A lot of the best products are being exported, and we said, you know, we need to keep some of the best products here in Belize rather than export everything. Atlantic Bank has helped us achieve our goals by providing the financing for us to be able to launch products faster than we would without the financing that they offer. We find that Atlantic Bank is very customer friendly, especially with small and medium-sized businesses. We find that Atlantic Bank is more than willing to go the extra mile. They try to understand your business. So when we go to Atlantic Bank with a certain need, we find that they try to develop a solution that will meet our specific need. I would encourage any small business owner to go to Atlantic Bank for their financial services. They're very friendly, and just overall, their service is excellent.
Belizeans deserve a modern banking system. Around the world, open banking lets people safely share their financial data with trusted companies to access better services, faster loans, cheaper payments, and easier ways to move money. But Belize is still one of the hardest places to do banking. So we must ask, after years at the central bank, what has former UDP appointed Deputy Governor, now Governor, Kareem Michael, done to bring open banking to Belize?
No Wi-Fi.
You might want to sing it note for note, don't worry.
Yo, bro, need
Be
your help.
happy.
Excuse me, class.
In every life we
Bro, I
have
have smart
some
Echo and smart
trouble.
too.
But when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy.
Wherever the
Be
coastal road
happy
takes
now.
you, don't worry, be happy. Smart has you covered.
Don't
Smart,
worry.
bringing people together.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, the capital city is still reeling from the shock of a brazen early evening murder of a delivery truck driver on a heavily trafficked street. And there's a black bow on the door of Caribbean Chicken in Belmopan to remember their employee of 3 years, Mark Gabriel. Domari Lanza was in Belmopan today and spoke to his employer and his family.
It was not a scheduled delivery day for 55-year-old Mark Gabriel, a Caribbean Chicken truck driver of Belmopan. He was targeted in broad daylight at 4:30 p.m. by a man on motorcycle just outside of Sunny City Supermarket near the immigration office. As they were exiting the compound, a motorcycle carrying 2 men suddenly rode in front of the truck and struck the driver's side. Gabriel stopped, believing he had hit them. At that moment, the passenger on the motorcycle raised a black in color firearm and fired 2 shots towards the truck. Gabriel attempted to drive away, but a 3rd shot was fired, striking him in the head and causing the truck to crash into the culvert. The gunman then attempted to haul open the door of the Caribbean Chicken truck, but was unsuccessful and rode off. It's becoming a common occurrence for delivery truck drivers to be robbed not only of their goods, but also of their lives. And his manager says this incident has greatly impacted them as a company and a staff.
Wednesdays is not a run for him. It's a day that he would do some orders and also go out and clean freezers, and that would be his duties on on Wednesdays. He would take some products to put back in the freezers that he cleaned, and he did have some cash on him. For me as manager, I very often tell them, cash and truck have no value. beside your life. Whatever they want to take, just give it in, make them take it. And Mr. Mark was one of that person that he had that in himself, and that he often tell me, boss, if I have to give everything, I tell her give everything. And he sadly come to the point that they never request money, they just shoot. And very very sad. I mean, for us, as a company and as a group of, as a team, you really touch me hard, and in the sense that he was very responsible.
And with all the precautions Navarro took to keep his employees safe out on the roads, he never imagined that an incident like this could happen in a busy intersection within the public eye.
With the situation that we had with Sarita recently, he used to do the run towards Santa Marta and back. And recently, meeting that situation, he was one of the person that saw the truck on the roadside at the time, and I started to take the trip with him. Me personally, he would have do the inside here, then he picked me up and we go up the Santa Marta and back. We made it do it that way, and sadly, the right in here. Very sadly, right? Very sadly, right in here. We are putting things in place to try because in this situation here, when I arrive at the scene where it happened, the police vehicle that came just seconds after me, they said they just passed the spot. They just run over the spot. He said we made it go slow right up the street.
And apparently it's not the first time Gabriel was targeted. His sister recounted for us that ever since the first robbery happened, she deeply worried for her brother's safety.
He got held up last year sometime in Tiger Town area. Some same scenario on a motorcycle followed them, and he went to deliver at a house, and the motorcycle pulled up and they jump in the truck, and they ransacked the truck, and then when they couldn't find anything, they went all the way in where Mark was delivering, and they took away $600 from him. So every time I was always worried about for his safety because he goes to work really early. He's the last one to leave. He always, he's ensuring that he gets all his things done for the day. So I was always concerned for his life, for his safety. The sideman is a 15-year-old boy. Thankfully, he didn't get hurt. I understand from his boss that when Mark got shot, his body fell on the sideman, so he was very traumatized. And I believe after that shot, maybe the robbers just didn't want to. I'm not too sure how many shots were fired because I don't have the exact details, but it was several because they opened fire at the truck, and so when they shot him, he fell, and his boss has explained to us that the sideman is very traumatized.
It's a traumatic incident for the family as well, especially for Gabriel's two daughters, now left without a single dad who raised them and did any and everything for them.
It's very hard. Very, very hard. Mark was a very, very, very good person. Hardworking. He did everything for his girls. He would take off his last shirt off his back for them. He sacrificed himself so much. Very dependable. And so it's very hard for us to accept this at this time.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
And now we hear from police. Given the area and time at which the fatal robbery occurred, police have retrieved useful surveillance videos from surrounding homes and businesses near the scene. ASP Stacey Smith gave us an update on the investigation this evening.
So far in this investigation, police have made some progress. There are persons in detention, and as more information is gathered, that will be shared with the public. The indication so far suggests that the motive in this incident was indeed a robbery. The information that I have shared is the extent to which the investigation has suggested. What I will say also is that as a part of this investigation, footages are being retrieved from all surrounding areas, and those footages have been of useful help to the investigation. What I will say though that indeed the individuals who were on the cycle, they wore helmet and they were covered with long sleeve clothing when this incident occurred.
While visiting the scene this morning, we met attorney Arthur Saldivar, who was also probing the area in hopes to find some answers on the murder of his friend, Mark Gabriel. Saldivar shared with us what he believes was the escape route for the assailants.
Mark Gabriel was, to me, a lifelong friend. And he was one of those persons in the community that always lend a helping hand, especially to those less fortunate. He grew up a life of privilege. His father had a big business, and despite that, he was very humble. And later in life, well, he became a delivery truck driver. But we are seeing that they are obviously being targeted, persons in that particular line of work. At one point, we would have expected these things to happen simply around the Christmas season. It was like that's the normal time for these trucks to have been hijacked, but it really never resulted in. It was rare that it resulted in death. Now it seems that death is the norm. We're on the street where I understand the assailant made his escape, Garbutt Creek Street, and a number of persons on this street have surveillance cameras. So we are hoping that those who would have captured the movement of the motorcycle with the persons who were on it would surrender that footage to the police and also make it available to the public so that the public can be a part of this investigation and assist the police in finding who actually did this. The understanding that I'm getting is that the attack started from Alwyn's, which is all the way down by where the Atlantic Bank used to be. It's about it's a quarter mile from where he was actually shot. So there's a big gap between there and coming down this way. So there is an opportunity, I believe, for this to be solved.
So he wasn't parked there at Sunny Store, conducting business.
No, he was shot, and he, by virtue of being shot, he then, I think collided into a little cement structure there and came to a stop.
As an attorney, Saldiva says that he has identified a gap in the system that urgently needs to be addressed in order to stop these fatal robberies from occurring and continuing. He believes that these incidents are becoming a pattern that police need to dig deeper into.
It's brazen and emboldened. I think that the part of it has to do with the inconsistency of law enforcement, the double standard that's taking place there. So there has to be a tightening of the discipline in the police department. There's got to be greater accountability. And there has to be investment in investigative capacity, because it appears as if, as a result of the disconnect between the police and the public, there is this unspoken appreciation that if you get far enough away quick enough, chances of being apprehended or found out is limited. It cannot be that way. The special branch, which was the hallmark of our investigative component, is almost defunct. You don't even hear about special branch anymore. Those plainclothes officers who receive advanced training in investigative techniques, who are able to get down into the community and blend, they are now needed more so than ever. to get intelligence, to find out what is taking place here. Is this individual rogue persons acting in this way, or is there an actual criminal ring operating and targeting delivery trucks?
And also making a statement on the murder today was the Business Chamber of Spanish Lookout. It is sounding the alarm over a growing wave of violent robberies targeting delivery drivers across Belize, warning that the situation now poses a direct threat to public safety, commerce, and national stability. The chamber strongly condemned the recent string of attacks along major transport routes, including the Hummingbird Highway and in Belmopan. Speaking via Zoom with President Norman Dweck, he warned that insecurity on the roads could have far-reaching economic consequences.
But as an organization, we're concerned about the security situation in Belize, and I would think that it's the government's first priority is to ensure that we are safe. I mean, if we want to, do we really want to become a Guatemala where every truck has a security personnel on the truck? Is that really what we want as a country? I would think that it would be that their first priority of a government should be to ensure that we are safe, that we can do business without having to have our own private militia.
And so I see a part of it that really stood out from the statement was, of course, you guys saying that no one should feel unsafe going to work. And so can you elaborate on that sentence specifically?
Well, we just feel very strongly that every truck driver that's on the road should feel safe in Belize. I think it's a terrible situation to put our people into if they don't feel safe at work, right? And so I think different businesses will respond differently, but it's just simply a matter of safety is of paramount. If we don't feel safe, the economy will suffer. I mean, businesses won't expand, and services will be cut if or people are not safe in our country.
The Chamber confirmed that discussions are underway with the Blue Creek business community regarding collaborative efforts, including the possible offering of a reward to aid in the capture and prosecution of those responsible for the death of Mark Gabriel of Caribbean Chicken. And in other police news, police have made an arrest in connection with the mass shooting on New Year's Eve that claimed the life of 39-year-old Keith Logan. Initially, the accused had turned himself in, but then escaped police custody. ASP Stacy Smith explained what happened.
As a result of the investigation into the murder of 39-year-old Keith Logan and the injury of 6 other persons, which occurred on December 31st, 2025 in Independence Village, police have formally arrested and charged 21-year-old Santos Absalon Chirinos, a Belizean construction worker of Bella Vista Village, for the crime of murder. Though Mr. Chirinos, in the company of his attorney, had turned himself into police after being informed that he was under arrest for the offense of murder, Mr. Chirinos shoved his attorney out of the way and bolted from the Independence Police Station. This information was immediately communicated. Mr. Chirinos was pursued. An area was cordoned off, and after a search, Mr. Chirinos was located on the veranda of an unoccupied property. Additional charges are expected to be levied against Chirinos in relation to the other persons that were injured in the December 31st incident.
On December 22nd, we reported on the brutal beating and robbery of Roy Waite on Burns Avenue. Well, tonight the 3 men allegedly responsible have been arrested and charged for the atrocity. ASP Stacy Smith explained the charges brought against them.
Police have formally arrested and charged 20-year-old Leon Nelson Coleman, 21-year-old Joseph Joel Gentle, and 20-year-old Randolph Delton Hyde, all of San Ignacio Town, for the crime of robbery. These arrests follow police's investigation into the robbery of 72-year-old Roy Waite, which occurred on the night of December 15, 2025. Mr. Waite was walking on Burns Avenue when he was approached by three individuals who assaulted him and stole from him some food, a small amount of money, and a cell phone. Additional charges are expected to be brought against these individuals in relation to the injury that Mr. Waite received during the course of this incident.
Waite received injuries so severe that he had to be transported to the KHMH for head injuries. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll talk to a father who spent thousands putting his daughter through American Northwest University. And tonight, he's asking why the Ministry of Education didn't tell them that the school's charter was not renewed. Plus, Rasta Babylon, the police senior command, tells Corporal Bo to cut off those locks. Don't go away.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Champion security, champion security, champion security. Yeah, yeah. Your security is our business, so we gonna protect you like a champion, like a champion.
Guess what, Mr. Handsome? Yeah, over there, champion security. This is the place to be. What does sign say? Champion Security. Here at Champion Security, we provide quality service. You know why? Such as triology lock, fire alarm, IP camera system, gate operator, biometric lock, and alarm system. Champion Security. Make a go check out where they go on inside of Champion Security. Boy, nice to meet you, my brother. Tell me a little bit more about Champion Security.
Well, welcome, Mr. Hanson. Here at Champion Security, we offer fire system, alarm system, camera system, gate operator, access control, and also trilogy locks and magnetic locks. Everything you need to do with security systems for residential and businesses, you could find everything here at Champion Security. We also consist of 12 technicians, and we offer technical support 24 hours. So anything you need for your security systems, you could find everything here at Champion Security.
Remember, guys, here at Champion Security, we live by our motto, where safety is our business. Give us a call now. Don't forget to check us on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And continue to shake it to the max all the way. Champion Security, the best place to be. We care for your safety.
You want to rent it, it's not a problem. We got remote gate.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
City residents who got this year's property tax assessments may have noticed a sharp increase in the amount, as much as 20%. It's no mistake, the City Council has increased taxes for the second time in 4 years, except this time it was without consultation. We asked the mayor about it and he directed us to the valuation manager, Troy Smith. He says this adjustment was supposed to happen 13 years ago, but has been put off twice. He explained that in order for the council to effectively continue its work, the system has to be adjusted to reflect current market realities. He told us more today.
The situation is this, that the last queen that was done was 2013, which was over 12 years ago. The law maintained that every municipality should do a queen every 5 years. For Belize City, the last one was done 2013, 2018, and then 2018 was the second one we did. But then the council changed, and the new council never implement that quinquennial for 2018 to 2022. What happened in 2022, which is another quinquennial, was COVID came in 2020. And then everything escalated, and so the council never execute the 2022 quinquennial due to the fact of the COVID situation. Now we are in 2026, where another quinquennial is due. And this time the council agreed because we look at the budgeted expense to maintain the city. Basically, in my view, the city council budget for the year is over 30 million to run the city. We're at 27 right now. And so it is deemed by law to look into the quinquennial so as to adjust the taxes so as not to increase a burdensome on the taxpayer, but a little more so as the council can actually provide the essential services such as street, drain, garbage, bridge, traffic management, beautification of park. It's 18% on occupied properties, right, when it comes to buildings and commercial business. And in 2022, the council never pushed that 28 variance because that would also be a burden. And what we did a 1% adjustment in the rate, not in the assessment. So my argument is that every property owner can check their assessment and look at the market to see if the rental value is high or low based on the open market. And I could tell you for a fact, as the evaluator, we are not there as a real rental market and real market value on the tax roll. And that's just where we do gradual adjustment in the valuation roll. Because of the adjustment in the taxes, there's an incentive program that we give back to property owner. As we said on the commercial, January 1st for early payment is 15 March, February is 10, and March is 5. And then senior citizen is 35% on the total outstanding, but for one house where you reside. And so the incentive also give back at ease to a property owner so as to balance their budget and balance the fiscal process.
Smith also explained that the law does not mandate consultations, and with the holiday season, the council is just now doing its media rounds to educate the public about the increase. Last night, we told you about the plight of American Northwest University, the medical school in Belmopan. The school has been suddenly put on pause, and students are at home, not knowing what's next or if they'll even be able to get transcripts to transfer to another school. And parents who have funded their children's education are among those mad and demanding answers. We spoke with one parent, Marcelo Williams, who is frustrated that after making financial investment, there are no answers and no clear way forward.
I was really surprised, like other Belizean parents, because it is only now that we have learned that the university license or charter was expired in June of 2024 and not renewed, despite our Belizean students, including my daughter, continued to pay tuition and attended the university. That was our major concern. concern that we had is the abrupt closure of the institution because the students were extremely concerned about a number of issues, especially non communication with the students from the university, or credible information in regards to their opening for the academic school year, because no student was informed regarding the potential opening of the institution from the management of that institution, especially as we entered 2026. So we wanted to know exactly what was going to be the way forward with the university, since our students, including my daughter, did not have answers as to when exactly the school is going to reopen. We both come together and pay her tuition at that university. We work very, very hard to send our daughter to school. Our daughter, her educational inspiration was to become a medical doctor. And that is exactly what she was actually striving for. She was sacrificing for, including us, the parents. That school is not cheap at all. It is a very, very expensive university. And we have sacrificed financially to be able to ensure that she goes to school to get a very high quality education. Now, what is going to happen? We have not gotten any credible answers from the university as to what is going to be the way forward. We are very much concerned. Why is the school closing?
Okay, lastly, can you tell me why is it that you chose to send your daughter to that medical school as opposed to the University of Belize Medical School?
My daughter's original inspiration was to become an anesthetist, right? And so what happened is that the University of Belize did not offer that program in Belmopan. They did not offer the program. And so the American Northwest University did offer that program, hence the reason why she decided and we decided to send her there.
When we inquired with the CEO from the Ministry of Education, we were told, quote, the ministry does not directly notify students regarding charter status. And tonight there is a statement from Dr. Shan Helmond, who we last night named as the director of the school. He's the one who sent stern voice messages to students telling them not to say anything. Well, through his attorney, he has issued a statement denying any ownership or management role in American Northwest University or its parent company amid public controversy surrounding the institution. He clarified that the Belize registered company is owned and controlled by its dean, Dr. Mohammed Kamis, who has recently been charged in the United States, and that his own involvement was limited to part-time advisory work as an independent contractor with no decision-making authority. Dr. Hellman said neither he nor other staff were aware of any legal issues beforehand and addressed a circulated voice recording by apologizing for any perceived harsh tone, stressing there was no intent to intimidate students. And tonight we continue our coverage of the squatting, logging and gun violence events of the Maya Ranch in San Antonio Village. In an attempt to settle the dispute, property manager Julian Sherrod has offered to sell the government 400 acres to give the encroaching farmers their land. But it's not that simple. On Tuesday, Jaleesa Roberts headed west, put a bulletproof vest on and toured the restless and volatile ranch.
For nearly half a century, Maya Ranch has stood as private land, first as a cattle ranch, now as a sanctuary for wildlife. But over the years, this Belizean-owned property has faced encroachment by loggers, hunters, and illegal farmers. The current owners, Belizeans for the past 38 years, have watched as their land, once left to regenerate naturally, became a patchwork of outlaw activity. According to property manager Julian Sherrard, at least 22 disturbances have been recorded across the estate. These include farm sheds, a pigsty, and 4 farmers currently cultivating potatoes, one with beans, another with corn, and even one managing a beehive. While the ranch has allowed them time to harvest, letters demanding they cease trespassing were served last October.
So, for example, the beans won't be ready till April, and we've told the farmer no problem, but at the end of April, then, we need him to leave the property. And he's cooperating and well aware of it. They were all served letters of cease to trespass on October 20th, and that gave them 7 days to reach out and ask us if they would need more than the 30 days that the letter said that they would then be off by. And so anybody who reached out to us at My Ranch office, we have gotten back in touch with them, and we've given them the time that they need in order to harvest their crops.
In an effort to provide a legal solution, Sherrard wrote to the Lands Department on October 28th, offering up to 400 acres of the property to government at or below market value, intended to provide affordable land for farmers. To date, there has been no official response.
It was October 28th. We sent a letter to Lands Department because we're well aware that there's a lot of pressure for land, and this is a large tract of land that the owners had decided to leave in nature. For the animals and for the trees to do its thing. There's farms all the way around it. But unfortunately, Yara Belize, a piece of land, nobody knows, you do nothing, you end up hunting this or So with the advent of people going in and logging and farming, we decided that we needed to unfortunately sort of put our foot down to stop that. But the people who are on the land right now, they're hardworking individuals. They're not looking to capitalize on get one piece of land and sell it. They're genuine, hardworking farmers, and so our hearts go out to them because they're trying their best. Did they commit an illegal act? Yes, they came onto private property, but Belize, that's how we do things, right? If a thing empty, well, we go up on the property, we go hunting, and what's not.
Maya Ranch stands at a crossroads between a history of private ownership and a future where land access and preservation must coexist. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
We contacted the CEO for Natural Resources, who said that they have not made a decision whether GOB is interested in the offer. We were contacted earlier today by the accused farmers, but have not received any comments or paperwork. They have explained that they have. A few days ago, we reported on the first male police officer to wear dreadlocks as an expression of his Rastafarian faith. Well, as might have been predicted, Corporal Kenrick Ball has been formally warned for breaching departmental grooming regulations and has been given until the end of the month to comply or face disciplinary action. In an internal correspondence issued through the Eastern Regional Commander and copied to the Commissioner of Police and the Professional Standards Branch, Corporal Bull was cited for failing to adhere to the department's grooming policy for male officers. This outlines standards for male hair grooming, including requirements that hair be properly trimmed, moderately tapered, not extend below the top of the shirt collar, not cover the ears, interfere with headgear, or obstruct vision. He has been instructed to correct the issue by the end of the month and was warned that failure to comply with the grooming requirements by the stated deadline will result in disciplinary action. We reached out to Ball, and he explained that he will not be cutting his dreads and says he is perfectly in line with grooming standards. The Global Leadership Summit is back for its 7th year in Belize. It's a 2-day event where hundreds of participants are able to learn from various speakers about what it takes to be a leader. Today, we stopped by and heard more about what this year's summit is focusing on.
I love this year because while it's well-rounded, we are focusing a lot on the wellness of the professional. Because if you're not well, how can your boss expect you to show up at work and do well? It's impossible. So we're looking at the wellness. And so one of my favorite sessions has to do with how do you become a shutterproof individual? in a world that is filled with so much chaos today, where it's so difficult to lead because people are so divided in their views and opinion on issues. And so how do you become a person who does not just struggle, but how do you thrive in an environment like that?
So how has the interest grown over these 7 years?
Currently, I was in the first session and presentations were on, and then you can hear the roar in the audience. People are connecting there. There's a communication between the audience and what's taking place on the stage. And so that to me is the endorsement that people are exposed to things that's speaking into the core of who they are. And so I'm just blessed, and I know as the day progresses, people are going to come and say, wow, that was awesome, because we can see a reaction already from those who are here with us today.
I don't think there's anywhere else in the world where you can see such great leaders with great leadership experience and content come together in one place for one opportunity than the Global Leadership Summit. They are the best in the world at being able to bring and draw world-class leaders together in one place at one time that can deposit so much into the life of, people that are already leading, emerging leaders, or people that are looking to be leaders in the future. Today I'll be speaking this morning on elevating your impact, and then this afternoon I'll be talking on how your values help you build your success. And so elevating your impact is all about being able to make the shift, being a transactional leader to a transformational leader. Then this afternoon I'll talk about why values and having values and living by values are so important to your success, and how research even shows that the most successful people are people that have clearly identified their values and live by values. And then tomorrow I'm going to talk about courageous leadership. What does it look like to be a leader that stands up when everybody else is sitting down?
And that's our newscast for tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a pleasant evening. Join Miriam Abdul Kawe tomorrow, and I'll be back in a week. Have a good one.